So this is another redo of an audio video I recently uploaded. And unfortunately, like the other ones, it kind of goes in and out because I didn't, connect an external microphone to my phone, if you will, to record with the voice recorder app. But, that's neither here nor there. People are listening, and I did inform them on all of those previous audio videos to turn on the closed caption because that's going to be the best way you're going to listen to what I have to say or hear what I have to say. But anyway, wanted to come on here and talk about this couple, and the title says it best because, again, this is a redo. And I want to talk about Tails and Nicole. That's right. You see, the original video was entitled, basically, if I can pull it up here, Tails and Nicole is a romantic ship that unofficially fans love more than we thought. And that is true. It is indeed true. It is a romantic ship that fans love more than I think any of us could ever imagine. Ever. But, I've talked about this ship for a while. In fact, I first started talking about it back in 2012, and the last time I talked about it was over a year ago, in October of last year. But it's still worth talking about because it's just so amazing when you think about it. Because we know that with certain franchises here and there that the people behind them are going to kind of give you little teases, with certain ships and all that, and little nods and stuff. If not, maybe start building towards something in the future. And eventually you're either going to get it or you're just going to have to be left to your own imagination to see what happens next or wonder what happens next. And, excuse me there. And, when it comes to Sonic the Hedgehog, whether it's the IDW book, the Archie book, the games, the cartoons, the shipping is all over. The implications, the teases, the officialness, it's all over the place. It is. When you look at, for example, I was watching Mega Beatman's review of the recent issue of Sonic IDW and called Second Chances. And he mentioned at the end that there were little ship teases in there. Sonic and Amy, Silver and Blaze. And, I can respect and understand when the writers, if it's Ian Flynn behind it or Evan Stanley behind it or whoever's behind it, I can understand them putting that in there to at least give a nod to the fans of, hey, we know, we get it, we understand, we hear you, but this is all we can give for right now. This is all we can give, for right now and everything. So it's good to see that. It is good to see that. But, with Sonic and any other franchise, shipping is a big deal. It is really a big deal. With Sonic, obviously, the most prominent romantic ship officially, whether people like it or not, that's very notable is Sonic and Sally. From the Archie books, from the Satam cartoon, you name it. But then when you look at things outside of that, like let's say the games, Sonic X, Sonic Prime, Sonic Boom, you got, Sonic and Amy, which again, if done right and properly, could work. And I think a lot of fans would be cool with that. I like the idea that they were doing Sonic and Amy and Sonic X, and I like how, despite how she was sometimes portrayed throughout the series, she was willing to go through a lot of stuff to prove how much she cares for Sonic, to open up his eyes and make him realize, oh, she does care for me on that level. Maybe I should reciprocate. And there you go. So if it's done right, I'm totally cool with it, and I'm sure everybody else is. But there's other ships as well. Speaking of Sonic X, you had Tails and Cosmo. You had a tease of Vanilla and Vector. Knuckles and Rouge, and so on. You had, in Sonic Boom, you had Tails and Zoe, again, going back to Sonic Amy, stuff like that. What else? What else is there? There's more than I can count, I can tell you. There's more than I can count. And even in the comics, the original Archie comics, you had teases like Tails and Little Moon. You had Tails and Fiona, despite how that came, it came to be, as an end result. But like I said, Tails and Little Moon, Tails and Fiona, Tails and Mina, whatever you want to call it, Mina, there's teases there and stuff like that. I mean, heck, you have Tails being shipped, by a lot of fans in very adult circumstances with other characters. I mean, one person, believe it or not, likes shipping Tails with Bunny. Yeah, I'm not lying. They like to ship Tails with Bunny. And why? I guess they're basing it off that little dance sequence or whatever was planned, in the long lost season 3 of Satyam, which is getting developed into a pilot episode for a potential third season by Team Season themselves. Maybe that's why. I don't know. Maybe because it was teased in that little short story in one of the issues of Archie Sonic, where where Bunny was basically getting all these Chaos Emeralds or little green Chaos Emeralds and collecting them for her, outfit for her dress, for her outfit, at a charity dance. And it looked like, it was a double date with Sally going with Sonic and Tails going with Bunny. It's like, okay, maybe that's it. Maybe that's why they want to ship them together. I don't know. But what's interesting, though, is outside of some of the teases and all that in the official media, I mean, you even have Whisper and Tangle being teased together, IDW and otherwise, just the way they're presented. But, and some people even say you could say they're teasing Sonic and Tangle, maybe Tails and Whisper, who knows? Tails and Amy, some people are saying is being teased at times. But, there's no real evidence. Some have even said Tails and Rouge. Go figure. But outside of some of these potential ships, teases, Easter eggs, nods, if you will, throughout all the Sonic media, there's also the unofficial ones. And when I'm talking the unofficial ones, I'm talking the ones that fans look at and they're like, yeah, potentially that could work. Or, yeah, they should be an item because it makes sense. And look, fans are going to have an opinion. There's no doubt. I mean, there are fans of the LGBTQ community that want to go the yaoi route with Sonic and Shadow and Sonic and Knuckles and Sonic and Tails. Heck, some people, speaking of Sonic and Tails, they will gender bend either one of them to make it a straight relationship. No joke. Mostly it'll be Tails that gets gender bent, and then sometimes he gets a KO added to his name with Tails Co, and there you go. There you go. It's like they'll go that far, for ships that they feel work better, and it's basically based on their mindset as fans of, why it works or how it should work or how it could come to be and stuff like that. I mean, you got Sally and Nicole being shipped, and honestly, you can't blame them for that because that got teased in the soft reboot retcon of the comic, the Archie comic that is. Can't blame them on that. Can't blame them there. I mean, you got those ship, you got that kind of a ship going on. You got, like I said, going back to Tales of Rouge, even though some would say it was kind of teased a little bit, maybe in IDW, but it's mostly outside of that been fan-oriented, put together, if you will. You got all these, like I said, you got all these different kind of ships out there, and from a fan perspective, unofficial ones, just based off of, like moments here and there. I mean, Tails freaking gets a whole freaking harem in some of the very adult, risque, erotic stories you could find at places like archiveofourown.org, fanfiction.net, and other places. He does. I mean, they even pair Tails up with his own mom, Rosemary, from the comics. I'm not lying on that. I'm not lying. They even pair him up with Julie Sue, in some stories. In fact, one story, she's actually dating or with Knuckles, but because of the fact that, well, Tails is older and, her and Knuckles are now married, but he's not as, intimate as he used to be, what does she do? She decides, hey, I'm going to find an opportunity to get banged by Tails, and lo and behold, that's what happens, But you got all these fan interpretations of ships unofficially because of what they see, of what they feel it works. I mean, like I said, they go the yaoi route, like with Sonic and Knuckles and Sonic and Shadow. Why? Opposites attract, apparently. That's why. Heck, some people look at Sonic and Surge. Yeah, his female counterpart, his female doppelganger. Yeah, Surge from the comics. They look at Surge as a significant other for Sonic. Go figure. Go figure. I mean, they even place Tails with Vanilla. And so on and so forth. But the one that is probably the most popular from an unofficial fan perspective, that is loved the most, and again, you see the title of it. In fact, you saw the title at the beginning of this video, is Tails and Nicole. But why is Tails and Nicole so beloved? Why? Well, it's like I said, in that audio video, and I've said numerous times before, and I'm sure others would agree with me. It's mostly based on the fact that both are very intelligent. Nicole, of course, being an AI, has a higher IQ, but both being, very intelligent, super geniuses, whatever, they basically complement each other. They complement each other in every way. But I think the other reason is because Tails is looked at as Sonic's BFF and his little bro, while Nicole, to an extent, is looked at the same way by Sally as her little sis and her BFF. So I guess fans kind of interpret that by saying, well, if Sonic and Sally can be with each other, then the BFFs should be with each other as well. Makes sense. Opposites attract. Well, not opposites attract, but hey, Big Bro gets to be with, Big Bro gets to be with the princess. In the case of Sally, Big Sis gets to be with the hero. Why not put the, BFFs, the little sibs, if you will, together as well? I guess that's how people look at it. That's how I seem to see it. That's how I seem to see it. And honestly, I don't think it would be a bad thing whatsoever. I don't think so. And honestly, you can't tell me that Ian Flynn and his crew during the final major arc of the Archie book, you can't tell me that they don't know of that ship. They didn't get told, or didn't find out about the Tails Nicole ship. You can't tell me they didn't, hear about it from fans. So fans asking them, hey, would you ever tease this or that? You can't tell me that, because I'm sure they did. And honestly, I get, in the book, by his own admittance, they wanted to tease, a Sally Nicole ship, and with Spark of Life, they kind of felt like, hey, we could do something like that, kind of do something here and there to indicate, hey, might be more than friendship here between them. Even, like I said, by their own admittance, they were surprised at what they were able to get away with or sneak in there. But, even with that, you have to be curious. You have to wonder, would he have tried it? Would he have tried a Tails and Nicole ship, or at least tease it? Kind of like what I said with Sonic and Sally. Like, with that relationship, kind of like no more, thanks to the reboot, it doesn't mean you can't tease some kind of flirtatious attraction between them, because that would be a way of nodding to the fans, hey, I still know you support this ship, so I'm going to give you something here and there to indicate, hey, I still know about it, and, I'm still a fan of it myself, or whatever. You can't tell me that he couldn't have done that, because he could have, but he chose not to. But to me, could he have done it with Tails and Nicole if he wanted to? Probably. But the question is, how would it come about if he wanted to do that? How would he have done that? And I look at it this way. You just build to it. You just build to like little moments here and there. Like they're helping each other out in something. Maybe they touch hands by accident and pull away. kind of blushing. Maybe they bump into each other and blush, stuff like that. Maybe they compliment each other on how they're doing and stuff, and so on and so forth. It's just like have little moments here and there, and then maybe, I guess after saving the world, you have Nicole hug Tails and then just give him a kiss on the cheek, which kind of surprises him and surprises her, and then he does it, and then he gives her one back in return. And so you could do that, or you could have her just give him a kiss on the cheek out of appreciation for helping him, towards the climax of the story, like towards the, Panic in the Sky story arc. Maybe you have that happen. You never know. You never know, but it's something to really think about. It's something to really consider and think about. Would he have done that? Could he have done it in that manner? And I think, yeah, everything I just mentioned, I think he could have done it. It doesn't mean you have to go full on lovey-dovey with them. Just, slowly build to something that indicates, hey, there's something, here between the two. But there's the other reason as well that I've mentioned before, and others would agree with this, as to why fans like to support these two together. And that reasoning being is because it takes care of a major issue a lot of people look at when it comes to these kind of ships. And that major issue, ladies and gentlemen, that major issue is the age difference, the age differential, if you will. And by talking about, and what I mean by age, is that anytime a ship gets teased, at potentially happening, age always becomes a factor. It always becomes a factor, like, can it work? I mean, a good example is spike in rarity. Everybody wants to say age is a factor when it's not. Period. It's not. But with Nicole and Tails, that factor is eliminated. That discrepancy is eliminated. It becomes, null and void because she's ageless. She can make herself into any age they want. She could shrink herself down to be Tails' size, make herself look a little younger to be about Tails' age, and there you go. No issue whatsoever. Or you could just keep her as she is, and go from there. And I think that's why other fans like seeing her with Tails, because basically she would be the one, person, the one crush, the one, girlfriend, if you will, that, nobody would have, that would not, be, basically older than Tails and, not capable of being with him. Because again, she'd be ageless. She'd be absolutely ageless. And if you don't believe me, that fans probably believe that to be, the key factor, the key factor to making this kind of a relationship work. Take a look at all the artwork on DeviantArt. Take a look at all the artwork on Google. Take a look at all the artwork at places like Furfiniant and some of the Sonic fan sites and stuff. And you will see that Tails is not only drawn as he is right now, but Nicole is still kept the way she is. And why? Because she's ageless. Because she can be any age she wants. Period. Tails could grow up to be 18, she's still ageless. And that's it. You know what I'm saying? That's it. And when you think about it, both being geniuses, from a story perspective, and there have been stories that have allowed this to happen, Tails can download his mind into cyberspace so that when he does get, to that point in life, she doesn't lose him because he'll always be there with her in cyberspace in a cyber form. Period. But again, it's all this, but again, it's that age thing. It's the ageless thing that I think really wins people over. Not just the fact that they're both looked at as the little sibs and the BFFs of Sonic and Sally. No, it's not just that. It's also looked at as the fact that she's ageless. She's the one character that he can be with without an issue outside of Amy Rose. Outside of Amy Rose, she's the one character he can be with. I mean, you can't tell me that fans were a lot questioning, the shipping of Barbari, that's bar and by, Barbari, Koala and him in the Archie, Sonic books. You can't tell me they weren't questioning that, because they were. Because she was older than him, but she was flirting with him, being around him like they were freaking boyfriend and girlfriend. And all based on what? The fact that he caught her and they worked together at the end of the Tales miniseries? I guess so. But the thing is, ladies and gentlemen, again, you don't have to worry about that issue if you put him with Nicole. You don't have to worry about that. And again, I think it's because also that, from an intellectual standpoint, they complement each other. From an intellectual standpoint, they complement each other. End of story. There you go. And I'm assuming, just based on how they're presented in the comics at times and various other media, they can relate to each other. I think that's why fans like seeing them together. Also, I think it's because it's kind of a cute dynamic. Like, okay, Tails is at that age where it's like he could develop a crush, develop feelings for somebody, but he can't be with that person because, the age, differential, is preventing it. And then here's Nicole, someone that can't be with, anybody unless, they're of a virtual, standard. Like some people, will pair her with Shard, if you will. They will pair her with Shard and everything, but pretty much that went out the window after Sonic Universe 50. That went out the window after Sonic Universe 50. But they'll pair her with Shard, or they'll tease pairing her with SBO, but, nothing comes of that and everything. And yet, here's the one person, and there's a lot of stories that, web comics, comic dramas, dubs, if you will, that kind of, and even fanfics that kind of makes, kind of look at, kind of focus on this ship and allow it to make sense. They allow it to make sense because, again, they have Tails understand where Nicole's coming from and vice versa. So I'm not surprised whatsoever. I'm not surprised fans, love this ship. That this is the one ship that, unofficially, that they love more than any, Tails ship, whether it's official or not official. I mean, if you were to rank the ships, if you will, both official and non-official, if you were to rank them all together, Tails and Nicole would probably be right at the top. They would be. Tails and Nicole would probably be right at the top at number one. And even though it's not official and it's unofficial, it's still the ship people love the most because of the dynamic, because of the personalities that work together and the understanding of each other. And, I can't argue with that. I can't. So, so honestly, it's up to your own interpretation of what you think of it and how you feel about it. Do you agree with what I said? Do you agree that everything I've mentioned here is kind of the reason why people ship Tails with Nicole and vice versa? You let me know in the comments. Hopefully you've let me know during the live chat as well. But yeah, that's all I really wanted to say. And again, if Ian Flynn wanted to, during the Sonic Unleashed Shattered Worlds arc, if he wanted to, he could have teased a little something between them, which could have ended with both giving each other a peck on the cheek, and just move on from there. Not get really lovey-dovey or anything. Just indicate, there's something cute between these two. There's something cute interaction-wise between the two, and that's it. But let me know what your guys' thoughts are. What were your thoughts when you first found out about fans supporting Tails and Nicole? Do you agree with, again, what I said here? And do you think maybe if he wanted to, he could have implemented something like that, in the, let's say in the Shadow World Crisis Sonic Unleashed arc? Let me know down below. Comment if you like. Live chat during the premiere if you haven't already. Support me where you can. The links are in the description. And until next time, I'm out, guys. But yeah, let me know what your thoughts are.